Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have studied about the states of matter. We learned what is matter and then we discussed what are the three states of matter, basically solid, liquid and gases. We also learned about the properties of solid, liquid and gases, like solid has a fixed volume and a definite shape. Liquid has a fixed volume but it does not have a definite shape, whereas gases have no fixed volume as well as no fixed shape. Then we discussed about the interconversion of states of matter. That means how can we change the state of matter from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, again from gases to liquid and liquid to solid. So we understood that in order to convert a solid to liquid, what we have to do, we have to heat the solid at a particular temperature, and then in just vice versa, if you want to convert a liquid to solid, we have to freeze the liquid. For example, when you want ice, what do? You take a glass of water, you put it in the freezer and it turns into a solid, and if you want that solid to be liquid again, then you take it out from the freezer and keep it outside for some time. With the warmth of the surrounding, it changes back to the liquid. So this is the interconversion of solid to liquid. Similarly, if you want liquid to water vapor and water vapor back to liquid, what we have to do is we have to convert it. Simply heat the water on the gas stove. You will see that it changes into water vapor, and if you cover the lid of the container, after some time you will observe that it changes back to water. It condenses. That is known as condensation. Okay, now today we are going to study about the composition of matter. Composition of matter. On the basis of composition, substances are classified as pure and impure substances. Again, we can classify pure substances as elements and compounds and impure substances as mixture. Mixture can further be classified into homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. We'll see the examples of homogeneous mixture is salt solution and heterogeneous is oil plus water. Then again, elements, iron, oxygen, nitrogen, all these are elements, whereas compounds like water, sugar, these are the compounds. Now before we start, it is very important that we know what is a pure substance. Now, if we, in our general way, if we go to a market and ask for a pure substance, for general public, for we people, for us, pure means if it is written on the packet that it is 100% pure, 100% vegetarian, that means it is pure. When you go to shop and you ask for give a packet of ghee, pure ghee, and if it is written it is pure ghee 100% vegetarian, then you buy it. But if you ask a scientist whether it is a pure substance, he will clearly say no, it is not a pure substance. But why? Because for a scientist, pure substance means if it is made up of a single substituent. If it is made of a single substance, then it is a pure substance. What is a pure substance? These are the single substance. That means they are made up of only one kind of substance, some material, only one type. Example like hydrogen, oxygen. So if you are talking about hydrogen, that means only the hydrogen is made up of only hydrogen atoms, small atoms. So each of them has a different set of behaviors. They have a specific characteristics. A pure substance is either an element or a compound. So if you are talking about a pure substance, it can be an element, it can be a compound. Okay, so what is a pure substance? These are the single substances which are made of only one kind of material, and that is they have a specific characteristics or property, we can say. And a pure substance can be an element or a compound. So the next thing is we should know what is a element. Now element sorry, how we can define element. So element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical means. What is an element? Element is a substance that is a simple substance which cannot be broken into further simpler substances by any chemical means. Chemical means that it involves a chemical change. Now what is a chemical change? The question must come that what is a chemical change? So chemical change. Now when you burn a paper, what happens? It changes into a new substance. That carbon dioxide is formed out of it. When you are burning a candle, you can see the wax vaporizes. So that is a chemical change. Okay. So what is an element? An element is a substance that cannot be broken. उसको हम और further नहीं तोड़ सकते हैं. It cannot be broken down into simpler substance. वो खुद ही इतना simple होता है. It is already a simple substances that it cannot be further broken into a simpler substances by any chemical means or any chemical change. Whenever there is a chemical change, a new substance is formed. Okay, when any new substance are formed in a change, it is a chemical change. Clear? Next is in contrast. Then what is? There is a physical change. And when no new substances are formed, it is a physical change. For example, when ice changes into liquid, it's a physical change. When water changes to water vapor, it is a physical change. Is that clear? Now, then we see that elements can be further classified into metals and non-metals. Elements can be further classified into metals and non-metals. Example of metal is sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium. All these are metals, whereas non-metals are carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. These are the non-metals. So how can we define metals? Basically, metals are the elements which have a tendency to lose electron. That you will be studying in higher classes, a higher class definition. So if you here, we are only going to discuss about the properties and uses of the metals and the non-metals. So what is a metal? Metals are the elements which are good conductor of heat and electricity. So what is the first property of metal? They are generally hard. If you see at metals are generally hard. Exception, there are few exceptions like sodium and potassium. They are very soft solid because they can be easily cut by a knife. So metals are generally hard except sodium or potassium because they can be easily cut by a knife. And another exception is mercury. Why mercury? Because it is a liquid at room temperature. So what are metals? The properties of metals, they are generally hard, but there is an exception, sodium or potassium, because they are soft and can be cut by a knife, and mercury, which is a liquid at room temperature. Second, they have luster. Luster means they have shine or metallic luster. Metals are generally shine. You can see gold, you see silver, they are very shiny metals. Third point is they are ductile. Ductile means they can be bent without being broken. So since metals are hard, they can be beaten and they can be made into thin wires. Okay, and thus they are called ductile. Then they are malleable. Malleable means they can be made into thin sheets. You can see tin plates. Why? Because these metals are hard, so they can be hammered and made into thin sheet. They will not break. They are very hard. Then they are sonorous. Sonorous means they produce a metallic sound when hit by a hard object. As soon as your first period gets over, there is a bell ringing. You can hear the ring of the bell. Yes. Why? Because the bell is a metallic object. So whenever that metal is hit we can hear the sound. That means metals are sonorous. That is, they produce a metallic sound when hit by a hard object. So these are the properties. What are the properties of metals? They are generally hard, they have luster, they are ductile, they are malleable, they are sonorous, and they are good conductor of heat and electricity. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, so these are the properties of metals. Hope it is clear to you. Next we have uses. Now metals have vast uses. For example, they are used in construction of houses, railway tracks, automobiles, aircraft, etc. They are used for making agriculture tools, surgical equipments, electrical appliances, utensils, etc. Okay, so these are some of the uses. For more, you will study or read the chapter. Then we come to non-metals. And what are non-metals? Non-metals are basically the poor or bad conductors of heat and electricity. Okay. Now, these non-metals, they exist in all the three states. All the three states means they exist in solid form, they exist in liquid form, they exist in gaseous form. So, in solid form, like carbon, it is a solid. Graphite is a solid. The lid of the pencil, graphite, that is a solid. Sulfur, iodine, they are bromine, liquid, carbon, sulfur and iodine, these are the solids. Liquid is bromine. Bromine is a liquid. And gases, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, these are the gases. So non-metals can exist in all the three states. It can be in the solid form, liquid form as well as gaseous form. Then non-metals, they are generally dull. They don't look shiny just as the metal. They appear dull. But there is an exception, like iodine and graphite. You've seen the lead, the pencil lead, it is shiny. Then they are brittle. Brittle means they can be easily broken. But there is an exception again, diamond. Diamond is the hardest substance that we know. It is a non-metal and it cannot be broken easily. Though non-metals are brittle. Brittle means what? They can be easily broken. Then they are non-sonorous. Metals were sonorous, non-metals are non-sonorous. That means they cannot produce sound. Then they are non-malleable. Because they are brittle, they easily break. That is why they cannot be converted into thin sheets. Clear? Okay. Next, uses of non-metals. Some non-metals like chlorine. Chlorine, you know that it is a disinfectant. It is used to kill the germs in drinking water. Sulfur, it is used to cure the skin diseases. Iodine, it is used to heal wounds and sprains. So these are the non-metals which are used for various purposes. Clear? So we have learned what are pure substances, what is an element, and further element can be classified into metals and non-metals. We have learned the properties of metals and we have seen the properties of non-metals. Hope it is clear to you. Then we see compound. What is a compound? Compound is a substance which is made up of more than two elements. Two or more than two elements which are combined chemically. It's not that you bring one element, another element and join together and it becomes a compound. No. What is a compound? A compound is a pure substance which is made up of two or more than two elements combined chemically in a fixed ratio. Example, water. Water is H2O. Here you can see water is H2O. These hydrogen and oxygen are two elements. So water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and you can see the ratio. There are two hydrogen. So atomic number of hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 8. So what is the ratio here? You can see they are in the ratio 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So 2:1 ratio, right? Here. So there are two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom combining together in a fixed ratio to form water compound. So water is a compound. Clear? Okay.